Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Wednesday, and you are tuned in to the Making It Happen radio show on the Reef 103.5 FM. With exception, yours, Nykole Tyson. And we are here on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Wednesday. And on Making It Happen, we discuss how we can make it happen in our minds, bodies, finances, business, and culture, despite the inevitable and not so pleasant challenges. And that's to allow us to realize that we have the power to improve and maneuver every and any situation that we encounter. And today I'm excited, as always, but we have a very special guest with us out of Abuja, Nigeria. Her name is
Hi.
Efemena Onovre. I hope I say the last name correctly. Hi, good morning. Awesome.
Yeah, you
And
actually
she's
did well.
live
You
and
did well.
direct from Nigeria.
Hi,
I said
everyone.
it right?
I'm Ife. You can just call me Ife for short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very great. But definitely, I wanted to make sure to get your full name. Did I say your last name right? Is it Onovre?
Yeah, you actually did well. Many people in Nigeria don't know how to pronounce it. But you did well. You did well.
I
But
was
the
I was
Efemena could use a bit of work.
What'd you say?
The first name could use a bit of work.
Okay, let's see. Let me go back to that. Efemena?
No.
Efemena? How was it?
Go almost. Should I just tell you?
Say it again?
Should I just tell you
Yes.
how to pronounce it? It's
Yeah.
Efemena.
Efemena. Okay, Efemena.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we got Efemena Onovre from Abuja, Nigeria, live and direct. It is now 4:11 p.m. her time. And we're going to get into just going to be a casual conversation today. I've been talking about all the friends that I made in Nigeria. And I had the last guest that I had was the ambassador from Liberia to Nigeria. And now you're my second guest out of Nigeria. But before I get into the details, definitely want to say good morning, as I always do, to everyone in the USVI, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, the British Virgin Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, and anywhere you are in the Caribbean. Thanks so much for tuning in, as well as all those listening live online at reefbroadcasting.com from the East to West Coast. Good morning to you, and anywhere you are in the world. Thanks so much for tuning in, as well as those watching live on Facebook. You can find us at I'm Making It Happen on Facebook. And so, yeah, definitely if you want to see the beautiful Efemena Onovre, she's saying kind of Efemena Onovre, aka Fa, then come on the live on our Facebook page, okay? But today we are taking the conversation international, all the way from the Caribbean, St. Croix to be exact, to Africa, Abuja, Nigeria. So as I mentioned, during my recent trip to Nigeria, I had the opportunity to meet some incredible people, experience a culture, and build new connections. Joining me today for a casual conversation that I think everyone's going to really enjoy is Efemena Onovre. In Nigeria, and we'll be talking about culture, lifestyle, similarities between Africa and the Caribbean, personal experiences, and just having a genuine conversation that brings us all together. And yeah, so it's just going to be a simple conversation to open up our minds and remind us how connected we really are. So, how are you today, Efe?
I'm good. I'm good. It's about, what time is it now? 4:13. So just rounding up the day.
Yes. Well, I love your hairstyle. I'm gonna have to. You said
Thank you.
it's a single
It's a
bob,
braided bob. So it's a
braided bob.
bob, but it's braided.
See, okay, I love
Yeah.
it. Looking cute, looking cute. She always has different hairstyles. And so one thing when I met Effie, she came up to me. I won't forget that. She came up to me and she just introduced herself. And then we became friends from that. We had lunch together. We actually did an interview that I'm gonna be putting on my TV show as well. And we had a great conversation. And we just kept connected. And it just feels like she's like right over on another island because we just, talk
Yeah.
randomly and message each other. And yeah, she always has awesome hairstyles. But one thing I told her when I saw her, I said, "You just look like one of my my beautiful Caribbean friends,
So
here.
many people thought I'm from the Caribbean. They thought I
Yeah.
came with you.
Definitely. I could attest to that. Cause when I saw you, I was like, you just look like somebody I know at home. There's so many people when I looked around when we was like out and about, I'd be like, wait, that looks like, and they're like, no, they're not here in Nigeria. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities in regards to my experience in West Africa. So as I mentioned, it's just gonna be a casual conversation. Um and FA was there during this summit, and we had a natural connection, and I just wanted to have you connect with the listeners. So tell us, like, what's the weather like today? Because when I was there, it was really dry. Has it become any more like less dry or less dry there?
Oh yeah, we've entered our raining season. So it's been raining for the past couple of days now.
Okay.
So today it didn't rain, but it's been cloudy. Cloudy with a bit of sunshine, but it's been raining season.
Okay. So when it rains, do things get a little bit more greener? Because we were there with just
Yes.
red. Everything looked red, just dry.
Everywhere was dry and red because that was the dry season and we call it the Hamatan season. So everything was dry. But then now that the rains have come, you can see a lot more greenery, natural greenery everywhere.
Okay, great. So are you originally from Abuja, or are you from another part of Nigeria or Africa?
Okay, no, I'm from Nigeria, but then not from Abuja. So I'm from some place called Delta States. So Delta
Oh,
States is down in the south.
how different is it from Abuja?
Mm, it's very different, but similar because I guess it's the same Nigeria, but it's very different in the sense that that place is closer to the water. So there's a lot more rains, not very dry seasons, but the humidity there is very, very humid. It's very humid there. And the culture there is also very different in the sense of the way that we speak and mannerisms, just little things like that. You could look at somebody and from the way they speak and their mannerisms, you could be like, this person's from the south. Yeah. So that's why when I go back and I talk to my friends there, they say I sound very northern, even though I can't hear it. But yes, there's like similarities in food as well. The
Okay.
foods are very different. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, what's a differentiation between the Delta dialect and being in Abuja?
Mm, I'd say because of the language, that's what encroaches into the way they speak English. So the languages there are different, and the northern language, which is mainly Hausa, is also different. So it encroaches into the way they now speak English. So their local dialects seep into the English a little. So that's why there's a bit of a distinct manner of speaking. And then there's the
Mm.
southern
And what's
pidgin,
the difference
which
in
is
the
different from
mannerisms?
the northern pidgin. You asked something?
Yeah, what's the difference with the mannerisms? You said you could tell the difference between the mannerisms of Delta states and being an Abuja and somebody from Abuja.
Mm, let me see. Let me see if I can think of one. When it comes to mannerisms, I'd say I'd say southern people are more expressive. We're more expressive. We talk with our hands a lot. But just I'd say we're more expressive in the south, and then the north is more conservative. I
Mm.
think that's the best way to describe it.
Okay. That sounds kind of, something like being in the South in the States. North, it's like, yeah, I could see that, like
Yeah, yeah.
city like in Abuja.
What's the city like?
I said it's more like city, being like a city. I would say like,
Mm,
okay, like in the States is like New York versus like
mm,
Atlanta. There's a difference in their way of
Expressiveness.
expressing and things like that, and vocal and speech and things like that. So I get it. So tell me about what's your favorite thing about living in Abuja? What
Oh,
brought you
the
to
road.
Abuja?
The roads.
Huh?
I'd say it's the roads. Yeah,
The
exactly.
roads?
Yes. So the roads are very nice
You
to
know
drive
what you
on.
drive on?
Yeah. So it's just
Okay.
very easy to get around everywhere. You could get to everywhere, or like the town, within the town of Abuja, you could get to everywhere within 15 or 30 minutes. So it's easy to plan your time. There's hardly any
Okay.
traffic within the town.
Awesome.
So
And
moving
so
around is,
there are more dirt roads or something in the south, in the Delta states?
oh no, there are roads there as well. There are roads there as well. So I think it's, you asked what I like about Abuja.
Yeah.
So in other states, there are other states in Nigeria where the roads, because the lands are smaller, everybody is like living, everything happens in a more,
Mm.
okay, I think the network just went off. So
Yeah. It keeps going in and
that's
out.
why the road networks can be the way it is, and it's the capital. It's the capital of the
Right.
country.
Of course,
Mm.
there's more resources goes there.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So if you're just
but then
tuning in,
other states, like in Delta states, it's more homely, like it's more cozy. Yeah.
got it. Okay. All right. So if you're just tuning in, we have Efe out of Abuja, Nigeria, joining us live and direct. It is 4:21 p.m. Nigerian time. We appreciate you for joining. We just have a casual conversation to get a learn a bit about Nigeria. Because when I speak to people about their experiences of going to other African other countries in Africa, it's different from what I know being in West Africa. So somebody went to Egypt or South Africa, or another part. When I spoke to them, they're like, "Oh, that was an experience that they had." I felt there was a lot of similarities from between Nigeria and Saint Croix, and just other parts of the islands that I've been to. But it's the same with other individuals that went from the other islands. They said the same thing. So Caribbean to me is very similar to West Africa.
Yeah.
And
Seems like it.
go ahead.
I said it seems like it's like from interacting with you and your other brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, we all vibed very, very similarly.
Yeah. What's something people outside of Nigeria completely misunderstand about the country, you think?
Hmm. There are a lot of things from a lot of different perspectives. Maybe I should ask you, what's something that you thought you would experience, or a
If it's
misconception
good.
that that changed when you came?
If you're good, you should be an interviewer, huh? He's turning it around on me. But one of the things that I that changed when I got there was just the friendliness. Everybody was so friendly. The hospitality was 110,000%. You know, we don't have as
Yeah.
much customer service here, I would just say, but to be experienced, and that sometimes it changes depending on the person that you interact with, or you see that when you have people interact with you, like in like maybe customer service jobs, but it was across the board in Nigeria. It didn't matter. We got the same treatment. I mean, to me, better treatment, and they really appreciated us being in Nigeria. So it was so embracing when being there. There was no differentiation in regards to demographics or anything like that, and that they really appreciate us. That's what I got. That's what and I loved. Also, it felt more safer than a lot of people are saying, but that could be just, that's like anywhere. So the unknown. So that's what I liked.
Mm.
Those are the things that changed. And then I just didn't know how similar we were going to be. Like the food was similar, except that you guys don't have spicy food. You have pepper. You have PPA. The food is just
We don't
over
have
the top
spicy
hot.
food.
It's hot. It's just hot. It's just, yeah, lava hot food.
Or do you mean when you say spicy? Do you mean like spicy or
It's more than
flavor?
spicy. Yeah, it's very hot. Just
Okay, so in the Caribbean, you guys don't eat hot food like that,
not
like very
not
very
like
spicy.
Nigeria.
Um,
It's like the hot food burns your throat, like it want to choke you in Nigeria. To me, like, yeah, I tried it, and I mean, there's different levels of hot, and we do people like they like their hot sauce here. We make it; it can be very hot, but it just took it to a next level in Nigeria. So yeah, that was one.
yeah, Nigerians, we don't use hot sauce because hot sauce is never hot enough.
See, you just played into what I was saying. Yeah, you just
Yeah,
confirmed what I was saying. So they don't even use hot sauce. That's not even hot. It was, you guys gotta
we just
go.
get
That
the
flavor is
peppers
different.
directly, chop them,
Mm-hmm.
and throw them in or blend them.
Yes,
Yeah,
you hot the hot peppers themselves. I think those hot peppers you guys have are even hotter than jalapeno.
yeah. We
That's what I
have
was saying.
Scotch bonnet peppers. There are lots of other peppers, so they're different grades. There's yellow peppers. So the yellow ones, they're like yellow Scotch bonnets. Those ones are like I can't even handle them. Those are a
Okay.
lot. They're very spicy.
Yeah. So I was talking to someone yesterday and they said, "Oh yeah, I don't know, maybe it's because Mexicans like hot food and they eat jalapenos." And I was like, "No, no, no. This is hotter than jalapenos. You guys can handle it. I don't know if you guys handle it. You gotta go to Nigeria and see if you can handle it." Because they got like hot sauce. They were tested in Nigeria. All right, let's
Oh
see.
wow.
So tell us, okay, we went to the Aquarian Consults Afri-Caribbean Investment Summit, and that's where we met.
Oh,
So
that's
how did
lovely.
you find out about, oh yeah, this is us. If you're online, you'll see some pictures that we're posting up from being in Nigeria. But yeah, so tell us how did you find out about the summit, and what was some of your takeaways? The things that you
So
learned
I
from it.
found out about the summit from a billboard. So there was like on my way to work, there was this like line of billboards, like all like on the road. And I was like, oh, what's this event? They just had a big QR code. Scan Aquarian Consult Afri-Caribbean Summit. I'm like, Afri-Caribbean Summit? What's that? I would like to know more. And then I didn't apply yet until I now saw a larger billboard somewhere in town. So there was a huge billboard that covered the whole road. And I was like, oh, these people are serious. This is a very serious event. And then that's
Right.
when I spoke to my friend about applying, and she said she'd be interested. So we're like, yeah, let's attend this event
That's
because we
awesome. Yes,
didn't
they
know
did a
much about the Caribbean as well. So it was an
mm,
opportunity. Yeah, so that's how I found out about the event.
awesome. Well, yeah, they did a very good job of promotion there, because when we landed,
Mm.
we saw the billboards too. I said, "Oh," because before I went, I didn't know how big the summit was, or you know,
Hmm.
I didn't. I was learning as like every day as I went. A couple days before, and then when I got to St. Kitts, and then I got to Nigeria, and then when we were driving, we're just seeing these billboards everywhere. And
Yeah.
then we were driving for like 45 minutes until we got to our hotel, and they were everywhere. So yes, I can confirm they did a really good job of marketing this event. So you and a friend had attended?
Yes. So me and a couple of friends attended. So, but I went on the first day. I think I went alone because they were not available.
Mm,
And initially, I was scared because attending these events alone is very can be very daunting. But
okay.
I just said, why not? I took off some time from work, took permission, and because in my line of work, this kind of event is going to be beneficial. So my boss was like, yeah, go ahead, attend the event. So I attended the first day, and I met some people. I made some new friends, thankfully. So it wasn't so daunting after that. And I learned a lot about the Caribbean and about how there's a lot more connection than we know of. And it was really good that they had this event because it enlightened a lot of us Nigerians, and I'm sure you guys from the Caribbean as well, about how closely related we are and the opportunities that are there for both of us in this space. So it was really, really nice. I really enjoyed the conference.
Awesome. And you were there every day?
I think I was there the first, second, third day. Then the fourth day, I came in not for long. Yes. Yeah. So I think I was there for 4 days.
Okay. And I can't remember which day did we met. Do you recall?
I think it was Tuesday because I remember you were saying you would come by to our office to see the city we were building on Wednesday. So we met on Tuesday.
Okay, cool.
I think so.
Tell us what line of work are you in?
So I'm a software engineer. Usually when people ask me this question, I don't know where to start from because I do a lot of things and I love all the things that I do. So I am a software engineer who specializes in UI UX design. So I design websites and apps for people because a lot of people just design apps and websites, but they don't take into account things like the fact that neurodivergent people would be using their sites. So like people with autism, dyslexia, many people don't know that you have to design websites and applications to fit everybody. So that's what I specialize in, to make sure that these sites are accessible for everybody. And then I am also into real estate. I did so. What the city I was telling you about is a city called Centenary City. It's a free trade zone in Nigeria where there are no taxes, and it's a great investment opportunity for people that are in Nigeria, people that are outside Nigeria. It's just a great opportunity. So yeah, I think those are the two top things that I'm doing. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I learned something about you today. 'Cause I did not know you were a software engineer. I knew about the real estate and that you do this other application. So yeah, we definitely have to talk more about that. So yeah, so if you're just tuning in, we have Efemena. I think I said it right. Efemena Onovre out of Abuja.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. Okay. Out of Abuja, Nigeria. It is now 4:31 her time. Of course, 11:31 a.m. our time. And I appreciate you taking the time today for being with us. We are just having a casual conversation about what the experience she had of learning about the Caribbean and just bringing bring the experience to the people here in the Virgin Islands, because I've spoken about it, but I wanted to connect individuals so they hear about it from other people. Because it's one thing I could say, but it's another thing to hear from those that are also in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I've been very excited to share when everybody asks me like, "Oh, how was Nigeria?" And I just tell them it was transformative, and we are Africans in the Caribbean. We're not Caribbean people. We're just Africans in the Caribbean, from what my experience was in Nigeria. So I'm sure many people can feel that in hearing from you today. So we're going to take a break. And we get back, we'll talk more with Efemena Onovre, Live and Direct. We'll be right back. So welcome back. You're listening to I'm Making It Happen on the Reef with Exception Yours, Nykole Tyson. And if you're with us before the break, you'll know that we have Efemena Onovre out of Abuja, Nigeria. We're just talking about her experience of meeting many people from the Caribbean and the summit that we both attended. So Efe, one of the questions I wanted to ask in regards to the conference was that let's see, what did you enjoy most about interacting with the Caribbean delegation?
I think what I enjoyed the most from interacting with every one of you from the Caribbean was how similar, like how familiar it felt talking to everyone. So even though we're not, okay, I mean, now we're not from the same place and the way we speak is different, the cultures we have are different, there's a lot of similarity. And when I was speaking to everyone from the Caribbean, it just felt familiar. I was like, oh, this is not so foreign. And it was just nice, and I learned a lot. So from everyone I interacted with, when you meet someone new, you talk about the things they talk about the things they know, and you learn new things about both cultures. Because I was very interested in finding out things about the different cultures. So I really enjoyed that. I think, like, I found out that, so I had a conversation with someone from the Caribbean about fabrics. So she liked what I was wearing, and I told her, "Oh, this is made in Nigeria. It's a Nigerian way of making fabric." So, for example, what I'm wearing now, this is tie and dye. So tie and dye is very popular in Nigeria, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what fabric styles are popular, like where you're from?" And she said that you guys don't really have fabric fabric styles, or maybe that's where she's from in the Caribbean. And I was interested to know that, because I just thought there's like a fabric you could see and be like, oh yeah, this is the Caribbean fabric.
Okay, so at home here we have something called Madras,
Okay.
and it's a pattern that is recognized here in the USVI, and we do wear that. We create those out of, and I wish I had something. I'll show you another time,
Okay.
but maybe I can look it up online and put it in the chat. And yeah, so that's something about fabric that we use. It's called Madras, and we turn that into a lot of different outfits. But so
That's nice.
and we do have tie dye. Back in the day when I was younger, we had a place called Jabaraps, and we would wear. There was a lot of tie dye things that we wore. Not as much now, but like I
No,
think that
maybe
when I
that's
was in
why.
Nigeria, that's one of the differences that I saw, is that everyone maintains, they wear the African fabrics, they turn it into
Yeah.
pantsuits and different things like every day, just normal. But here for when we wear the African wear, I think it's more so like for an
Occasional.
event or an
Yeah.
occasion. Yeah. But when I saw Nigeria, you have that, you just represent that, you rep that every day in your normal wear. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's where she's coming from, in the sense that it's not as popular over there
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But I would like to see that. So, like, more people need to know about the Madras, right?
Yeah.
The Madras fabric. So you
Oh, you
guys
see it
use
there?
that. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh,
So
it's like
that's
a
one.
like a plaid type of fabric.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice.
Ralph, look up the one for the USVI and put that up. We have a USVI Madras pattern that we use.
Okay.
So we'll put that up in a second. And yeah, so that's what we do as a pattern. So that's something new you'll learn, and maybe we could show that. And I actually have an outfit
Yeah.
on my of an outfit that I had out of Madras. But yeah, that's something we wear in regards to patterns. Now, is it worn every day? We again wear that mostly on occasions, during carnival time and those things.
Oh, this is nice.
So that's
We
called
have
mucka
this.
jumbies. Remember, we had those mucka jumbies in. Did you see the mucka jumbies? They would greet people in the morning. They brought them from St. Kitts.
Was
Were you
it
able to
was it
see
the
that?
guys that were standing on sticks?
Yes,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We took pictures with them. I took some
yes.
pictures with them.
They're called mucka jumbies.
Oh, nice.
And then you also learned of our steel pan music.
Yes, I had so much fun with the steel pan guy. We danced. I danced around him. I took videos.
Nice.
It's a very interesting instrument.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's
Yeah.
here. So what she's looking at is on our face, is on the live. We're putting pictures up so she can see. So yeah, we were able to exchange our cultures or discuss the similarities and things that was, I guess, were built upon when after the slave trade, or during the slave trade or enslaved time. So that's one of the things, like, now that we can speak about, because we did have a conversation about that specifically. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask, what did you personally gain from attending the conference? Or were there any speakers, panels, or moments that really stood out to you?
I'd say that the speech, it was given by, and this is going to be so horrible because I'm trying to remember his name. Hold on, give me a sec. Because we had a lovely conversation. I'm going to get it in 1 second. Okay, hold on. But he spoke about the Sandiford. Yes, it was Sandiford. Do you
Oh,
remember
from
Sandiford?
where's he
Yes.
from? He's from Grenada. I think he's from Grenada.
Was it Saint Kitts?
Sandiford? I think he's from Grenada. Well, go ahead. I'll find
Okay.
his. Yeah, I'll find out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it was Sandiford's talk, and he spoke about free trade zones, and obviously that is one of the lines of work that I work in, which is free trade zones. And he spoke about how there are free trade zones in the Caribbean that are open for investment. And I think one of the things I took from this summit was that there are lots of investment opportunities within Africa and in the Caribbean, and that we in Africa have access to these investment opportunities. Because who doesn't want to know how to double their money, right? And make good investments. And it's good to spread out your investments. And I really enjoyed that. And I think that was one of the things that I took from his talk. That's one of the most notable ones that I remember. Yeah.
Yes, his presentation was very dynamic. And yes, I just looked him up because I did get his contact, and he's out of Grenada. Yeah.
Oh, Grenada.
So yeah, I did a lot. I took a lot of screenshots, or pictures of his presentation.
Yes.
Okay, so now, yeah, it was very informative and enlightening. So tell us. So now, when we were there, we talked also about the transatlantic slave trade, right? What happened through that we flew over the Atlantic, as opposed to those who came from the West Africa to the Caribbean was on ships at one point. And now many of us, for the first time going to Africa, was able to fly over the Atlantic. So tell us, like, and so sorry, but in our conversation, one of the things that we were talking about, and even you caught yourself, was when we were saying, oh, the people that were slaves that was taken from Nigeria to the Caribbean. And I was like, no, they weren't slaves. Remember? And you were like, no, and you had to stop. And you were like, huh? And then you said they were enslaved.
Yeah.
And so that's what we have to start to correct the narrative and also our speech towards that. Because understanding that we were not slaves, people were enslaved. And that I think that also plays a part into our identity of a people, because words matter, and the perception matters, especially for the youth, and having confidence and feeling they're empowered, and not feeling less than, because our ethnicity was not a lesser people. In fact, they were more of a stronger people, because individuals that enslaved these Africans wanted what they had and benefited from that, right? And it's not just in that area, but across the board. African culture is in everything to me. Music, food. People want to be like Africans. They might not want to be African, but they want the body, the structure, the the way of acting. And so we just have to remind ourselves of our origin. And I think that was a great conversation you and I had. That's why I wanted to bring that up. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the conversation, especially the fact that you brought up that they were enslaved, because I've never thought about it that way. And ever since then, I've been saying it like that, because they were enslaved. They were not slaves. They were people who had jobs, who lived normal lives, who had families and everything, but they were enslaved and made to be slaves, but they were never slaves as an origin. So I really enjoyed that conversation, and it was just very enlightening, and it's something that we should talk about. And I would encourage every Black person who lives outside Africa and has never been to Africa to come back, I think they do these DNA tests that help you find out where your lineage is from. So you can find out where your roots are from. I think it would be good for you to go back, just learn about your culture. And for those that grew up in Africa and have left Africa, I think it would be a very good idea for you to continue to know about your culture, because sometimes you see um Nigerians, Africans that leave, and it's almost like they want to disassociate themselves. So this is
Mm.
it's like a hand mannerism in Nigeria. If you do like this, you're like washing your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just doing that and realized you may not know what I'm doing. So they almost want to wash their hands off of, being African and Nigerian, and I don't get it, because the whole world wants to be us. The
Yeah.
whole world wants to be us. So when you go there, highlight the best parts, because some of
Mm.
them go there and then all they talk about is all the negativity, I mean, with everything, there's supposed to be a balance. Yes, there's nowhere that's perfect. Even where you are going to is not perfect. So there's negative things to say about everywhere in this world, but then there's also going to be positive things. And if it's somewhere that you're from, then I think it's good for you to still be up to date with what's happening and know about your culture, and also teach your children who may not grow up here, so that it's not lost with your generation. So that's what I'd advise everyone that's outside of Africa to do.
And I do agree, because the same thing happens here. A lot of people leave here and they just have negative things to say. But to me, saying the home is where the heart is, and there's nowhere that I want to be. And to me, that is the best life here. Most people want to come here and live here, but most of us leave because there's there are negatives, right? But you said there's nowhere that's
Yeah.
positive. There's nowhere that's perfect. And so
Yes.
for me, when I lived in the States, and somebody asked me, what's the difference between living in the Caribbean and living in the States? And I learned in college, my freshman year, I was like, when you're in the States, you're just stressed. And when I'm home, I can be stressed, but still relaxed at the same time. And then I also said that, and I also learned that like, there's nowhere that's perfect. You just have to learn
Hmm.
what cons you can live with.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah, you have to just decide what you want to live with. And I
And
like what you
I
said
would,
about
okay,
focusing on the positives.
yeah, I would never judge anyone that leaves, because there are negatives. Like I said, there are negatives everywhere, and you said just pick the cons that you can live with. So I would never judge anyone that chooses to leave, but
Mhm.
you should still want to carry on that culture, because there are Nigerians or Africans who don't know what their cultural food is, their cultural attire. Even I, as someone living in Nigeria, there's a lot that has been lost on me because of
Mhm.
modernization.
Mhm.
So even people, if you live in the Caribbean, if you live in Africa, try to still be Caribbean or African while you're there. And there's a lot of adoption from the outside that is not bad, but we shouldn't forget our own.
Yeah, we need to retain
Hmm.
it. So tell us
Yeah.
about that. Because we have a few more minutes. Tell us about that. What are some positives that you want people to know about Nigeria?
Hmm. We have amazing fashion sense. We have amazing fashion
Definitely.
sense, I'd say, with our fabrics and the way the people in the fashion industry are able to take these fabrics and give them so many silhouettes that you would have thought about, is amazing. So the fashion industry is doing very well. Our foods are really, really good. Our foods are really, really
Hmm.
good and very interesting. And I don't want a time to come where we would forget our foods and be forced to eat burgers and fries alone. That would be very sad. That'd be very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, fashion, food, culture. I think we are, like you said, you felt very welcomed. I think we are very homely people, and we're not naturally standoffish. That is, of course, unless you piss us off. But we are not naturally standoffish, and we like to take people in. And if you have the character that if you have a character that's not welcoming or not respectful or homely, it's frowned upon. And that's something that I really hope we continue, because we need to frown upon bad behavior. You need to have respect for your elders. You need to have respect for your mates, just for humans in general. And that's not something that we see a lot outside. So food, culture, fashion sense, and the behavior, and what's the word? Non-tolerance to bad behavior.
I think that's good. That should be across the board. I like that.
And like yeah, discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Good.
Not abuse.
So
but discipline.
Yeah, one thing about the fashion, every day there was some different, everyone was dressed to the nines, not even like dressed to the nines. I can't even say dressed to the nines. It was just like royalty looking, like I said, of the African wear and just the accessories and everything.
Yeah.
It was always
that's all every day. So when there's an occasion, yes,
it's even more.
When there's an occasion, it's out the park. It is It is a lot.
That was regular. She was telling me. Okay. All right. Well, so this is actually this is another Madras he's showing you. This is a Madras.
Oh, these are lovely. So I think they use these to make dresses.
Yeah, they have the different outfits made of this. So she's looking at online the Madras for the USVI and some outfits for that. Well, if you're just joining this Efemena Onovre. Yeah, I got it. Out of Abuja, Nigeria. Because I was always calling you Efe. I was always calling you Efe, so I have to include the whole name.
Yeah.
So and so it was a pleasure having you on the show today, Efe.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you for taking the time being with us. We've been trying to get this for a couple of weeks now. So
no,
it's been like 3 weeks. So it has
worked out. I had to rush home so that I could be on this.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I thought she was going to be in the office, so she actually rushed home today. So I appreciate you getting taken off. I'm sure you had to take off earlier today, and she has a lot to do. So I appreciate you. And I'm sure everyone else has appreciated you being with us today and learning a bit more about Nigeria itself and Abuja specifically. What area of Nigeria? I was looking at it where it's positioned in Africa, and it looks like it has a coast. Like with the beaches, there's a part of Nigeria that you can get to the beach. I mean, you can get to the beaches, but Abuja is in the middle of Nigeria. What area is that called? Is that the west? Is that the west? Is that the west of Nigeria, where the beach, where the coast
like
is?
In the center. Abuja is in the center of Nigeria, so it is part of the north,
right?
But it's in the center. But it is part of the north. So Abuja is northern Nigeria, but it's very close to the center. And the place that you're talking about that has the beaches and the coastline, that's Lagos. So Lagos.
Oh, yes. Lagos is on that side. Oh, okay.
Yes. It's the same spelling as Lagos in Portugal, but this is Lagos. So Lagos is down in the southwest. Yes. Lagos is in the southwest, and they have a lot of beaches.
Okay, great. One more question I had about the food. What is your comfort food? Because you were talking about the dishes and not wanting to have burgers alone.
Okay.
What's your favorite?
My favorite Nigerian food at the moment, and it has been for a while, is something called white soup. So it's a soup, and then you eat it with a swallow. So the swallow is pounded yam. So it's yam that's boiled and then made into this soft thing. I don't know if you guys have swallows, or if you take swallow and fufu. Fufu, yes. So it's like fufu, but it's made with yam. Fufu is made with cassava.
Oh.
Yes. So this one is just made with yam. It's not fermented. Fufu is fermented. So you just boil the yam, mash it up like mashed potatoes. Yeah, it's like mashed potatoes. So it's mashed yam. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like sweet.
Yes, it tastes like boiled yam.
Okay.
Yes.
Like a sweet potato. You're talking about the yam, like the sweet potato?
No, I'm talking about the yam, like the yam tuber. So I don't know if you guys have
Is it like
yam.
orange? Or, I mean, like, is it kind
No,
of
ours
like
is not orange, it's white.
yours is white. Okay, your yam.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we have different yams. But yes, so that's why I really like. So I take it, I dip it in the soup, and the soup has a lot of meats and proteins. So yeah, I really like it at the moment.
And it's called white soup.
White
So
soup,
when people listen to me,
pounded yam.
they'll be like, Nykole, you don't know yam. There's something called, I know we just say, okay, some people call it, there's something that we call yams, but it's also sweet. But I'm looking at it, there is a white one. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. So it's just different
Yeah. Mm.
names for things. Okay. But it's spicy. That's hot. That's hot pepper. A lot of pepper in it.
Yeah, but you can make it however you want. So you could add
Okay.
more pepper or less pepper. Yeah.
White. Okay, I gotta look that up. White soup. Alrighty. So this is Efemena Onovre. All right. Out of Abuja, Nigeria. Thanks so much for joining us today, FA. We look forward to connecting with you again, and of course staying in contact and learning more about your about Nigeria and how similar we are. And as you said, we encourage people to learn more about these different African countries. I spoke with somebody yesterday and they were like, oh, they've been all through Europe, but they've never been to Africa.
Wow.
Make sure, our government actually went to Ghana. I never looked at how close, but I know that's West Africa still. And so, there has been, connections that's been being made throughout the Caribbean to connect with Africa and do trade,
That's
create trade. And
lovely.
I know some
Yeah.
individuals, the governors having come here for, that's coming from Ghana. So maybe one day some individuals from Nigeria will be coming here. But like, again, I met FA through the initiative led by the St. Kitts Nevis government and I guess what is it called, completed by the Aquarian Consult company out of Nigeria. And so I appreciated that. It was a great experience, and I will continue to mention it. Before we close out, I do want to remind individuals that we have the tee off for tuition second annual golf benefit happening at the end of August 22nd and 23rd. Please do go and check out our website at makeithappenfoundation.org. And you can see there how you can participate either by attending the cocktail party on the 22nd and or being one of the golfers in the event. The money goes towards tuition and college expenses or trade certifications. It was mentioned the other day that it's like 5,000, there's a deficit of 5,000 jobs that many contractors need for these different projects that's going to be coming to the territory. And so this is a way that we're trying to fill that gap. We might not help with the 1,500 by 5,000, but we can help with 100 certifications. And so, we'll do this with the help of the community. And also, I don't know if I mentioned, but our first scholarship Howard at the beginning of May. And that was because of all of you. Many of you heard her on the show a couple months, but back in I guess January, and we followed her all the way through. We helped her with a lot of challenges, and not just financial, but just dealing with different things leading up to graduation. And now she's on her way to College Park, University of Maryland College Park. She was accepted into the graduate school program. And so, yes, and it was all because of all of our sponsors. And we will be naming them again next week. But thanks so much for the community. And so we are, looking to welcome more sponsors and other supporters and volunteers, because last year was a lot of stress and so a lot on my own, but I welcome more people to be involved. And I know some people have contacted me to be a part of it, assistance of, doing the event, and I welcome more individuals, you can contact me at 857-575-2865, or just go to the website, makeithappen.foundation.org, and I'm very responsive. And we're also looking to help more students. So, a lot of people graduated high school. We are looking to help more students with tuition, expenses, books, and those kind of things. And also, if you know of someone hasn't decided to go to college, but they could benefit by taking up a trade, contact us. I would love to be a part of, supporting them in that way through the Make It Happen Foundation, but ultimately through our community. Again, go to makeithappenfoundation.org. All right. Thank you so much again, Efe, for being with us today. Anything you want to say before we close out?
I think I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, because I really enjoyed this. This was such an amazing conversation and a great continuation from our earlier conversation. And it's so nice to virtually meet everyone that's on here and everything. And I hope you've learned something new about Nigeria. I've learned a lot about the Caribbean, and we need more spaces like this. So thank you so much for the invite, Nykole. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for being with us too. And we'll definitely continue the dialogue and expanding on all of our knowledge between our both regions. And just like that, we've come to the end of another edition of I'm Making It Happen. I want to thank you, Efe, for joining me today and for sharing your experience, your perspective, and a little piece of Nigeria with all of us here in the U.S. Virgin Islands and throughout the Caribbean, of those listening, and all those listening live in the States too. We have people listening throughout the United States. I'm getting messages. And so your voice is being heard very far, near and far. And one thing my recent trip to Africa reminded me of is that although we may live oceans apart, there are so many similarities in our culture, our energy, our resilience, and our spirit as people. And conversations like these help build bridges, create understanding, and remind us that the world is much smaller than we sometimes think. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Be sure to connect with us on our various platforms on I'm Making It Happen on Facebook, Instagram, and definitely YouTube. You can find us on all those platforms with the same logo. Just look for I'm Making It Happen, and definitely also check us out on our website, I'mMakingItHappen.com. So it's two different websites. We have makeithappenfoundation.org for the nonprofit side, and then we have the brand where we have a lot of information there. It's called I'mMakingItHappen.com. You see people that were highlighting places and now international connections. All right. So until next time, you've been tuned in to I'm Making It Happen with exception of yours, Nykole Tyson. And as I always say, have an amazing rest of the day and the week. We'll connect again on next week, Wednesday, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you don't see something happening, create it. Be the change. And until next time, keep thinking outside the box, coloring outside the lines. And remember, it's about you, me, we. So make it happen.